friends, and welcome back to Lemon Tree Corner. If you're new here, hi, my name is Heather and we do crafty things on this channel like sewing and crochet and scrapbooking. So stick around if you're interested in that kind of thing. And if you're not new here, thanks for coming back. I really appreciate your time and attention, and I love having you back here every week. So let's take a look what we're doing. So I wasn't sure what to focus on this week because I had such a big push to make all the bags for the craft fair, and now we've got 1 week in between when I have to start labeling things and putting the price tags and everything on and doing the craft fair. And I really wasn't sure what else I could do. I could make some more pyramid pouches out of the Christmas fabric, but I really wasn't sure. And then I had one of my customers contact me, so I sent out an email to my email list that I was going to be at this show, and she contacted me and she would really like another sweater bag. So I kind of tweaked one of the project bag patterns and we created a sweater bag, which is huge. My sweater is actually in this sweater bag, my first crochet sweater. So she would like a sweater bag and she's going to be at the show. So I was kind of poking, well, like, what kind of pattern would you like? What are you interested in? And I didn't hear back from her, but I was like, well, maybe we should just take this as a sign that I should make a few sweater bags. So I'll just save them for her to look at the show. I don't know. She's coming on the second day, so I don't really want to put them out and have them sell, and then there's nothing for her to look at. These are bags I was going to make for the yarn crawl next year. So if she doesn't, whichever one she doesn't pick, I will definitely be putting it in the shop and having it at the yarn crawl. So I picked out 2 fabric sets. I can't remember whether she got the strawberry jam bag last time or the chickens, but it was definitely like a kitschy pattern. So I have these strawberries with this cute polka dot fabric. Now I had bought this fabric also to go with another bag, so I'm not necessarily going to have enough for this bag, and I don't know that I would want this for everything, but basically I only have a yard of this. So I'm going to go back to Joann's and see if we can get some more of this polka dot fabric. And I also thought it went well with these fabrics. So we have this cute one with the little mice and the strawberries, and then we have this fabric. So I was thinking if I get this fabric and the polka dot, we can mix and match, because I think the polka dot one goes well with this as well. So if I make these 2 bags together, go back to Joann's and get some more of each of those fabrics, then we can make 2 sweater bags this week. I also want some more of those ginger snap cookies. I already went through all the ginger snap cookies, so I'm going to go back and get some more of those. They were just really tasty. And yeah, we'll make some room on our bookshelf, we'll work on the coloring, and then we'll see if we can get 2 of these made this week, and then that's it. Then we have all the bags for the show, and then the week after we will be doing the price tags, updating the inventory sheets. I'll kind of share that whole process with you, so you have an idea if you are interested in having your own handmade business, kind of the back end businessy side of things that we can talk about. So if that sounds like a good time to you, go ahead and grab yourself a cozy beverage or a water, curl up, and let's start making some bags. Okay, so here are our new old Harry Potter books, and I just got a ton of books here. Some of them are the nice fancy books that I want to save, and then I've got a ton of self-help books, some of which I will save, like this one, The Crossroads of Should and Must. And then I've also got some kind of decorative books that I want to save. So things like this are reference materials. I've got a whole book full of stuff from class. This is probably the only one I'll keep here. I don't even know that I'm going to keep this one here. We've got the A to Z of Crochet book, which has a bunch of stitches, but I tend to like the YouTube videos. And then I've got the Tunisian Crochet Handbook signed but turns out I don't like Tunisian crochet. And then, so I'm just going to clear these out. They're full of dust. Full of dust, so I'm going to clean them out before I put anything in there. I've also got these bins full of like old journals and crap that's just collecting dust at this point. So I need to go through those as well and just see what we want to keep. Got some journals and stuff. I've got some, I tend to start journals and literally like within the first few pages, I stop writing. Hey, this one's actually full. That's good. I like to keep them because this is from 2012. I can go back and like read what I was thinking in 2012 and see how far I've come as a human being, you know, that kind of thing. So we will see how we get on. I've been meaning to do this for a while though, so yep, tons of stuff. And then we've got, you know, like tons of DVDs. We don't even watch DVDs anymore. We already took like a whole Tupperware bin full of DVDs out to the garage. So I don't know what we're doing with these. And then here's some school stuff that I did. I did some spiritual classes. So I've got binders and things that need to go in the garage as well because I'm keeping those. And then we just have, you know, bins full of blankets and stuff. So just want to clean this area up. It has not been touched in a long time. I've also got the other fancy books that I bought in Seattle at Powell's bookstore, Oregon, at Powell's bookstore that have to go somewhere. They're just all, everything's just sitting on top of this counter driving me crazy. So sometimes you gotta just let out that aggression and chew on a toy. We have a bunch of half-chewed toys because, you know, we have 2 dogs. And Oreo's curled up with another half-chewed toy. But sometimes Lucy just has a little meltdown and goes off on a toy. Is the moment over? I think it's over. It's over. Now she just laid down. If you've been here for a while, you have seen the binder. So these are all of my product lined bags. So these are all of the bags that I make on a regular basis for my shop. And right now we are looking for the sweater bag. So I give them all a rating. I give them all a grade. So the sweater bag is a Franken bag. It is based on the Squishy Project bag from Erica Arndt, which is super cute. So what I did is I made a large version of this, and then I made a larger version of this, which is our sweater bag. So I just kind of modified it to make it bigger, and we have the handles up at the top. So I'm going to go ahead and start ironing and starching my fabric, which means setting up the ironing board and the whole thing in the living room again. So that'll be an interesting challenge. We're going to go with these 3 fabrics for the first sweater bag. So I think I'm going to have that on the bottom and the handles, and then I'm going to have the red and the inside. And then for the other one, I couldn't quite find this same, dot, but I kind of like the one I found better for this one. It's a little lighter. We're going to use that for this one. So I'm going to have this for the bottom and the handles, and this, the dot for the interior, for the lining. So that's the plan there. So that's pretty. I think I'm going to make the mice first because they're cute. So we'll do that one first. Okay, so we have our workstation all set up. I've got the big ironing board here, iron, fabric, We laid a sheet down, and then I've got my Best Press spray. I'm using the Caribbean Beach. So this is what I do for all the new people. Every time I get new fabric, I tend to not do this until I'm ready to make a project because I'll forget if I had done it or not. Also got a seltzer water. So I have found with the ironing board out here like this that I need to put it on a silk setting. So that's what I'm doing. And then I'm going to start towards me because the fabric's going to be all bunched up. And then I'm going to lay it out and we're going to let it cascade off the end of the ironing board. So pretty easy. I get to sit down this way, which is the main reason I'm doing this, is because my legs, my back, my butt were just killing me standing. Even on the, even using the fatigue mat under my legs, under my feet, it still hurt to stand for that long because this takes a while to process one yard of fabric. So this is good. I get to watch the TV and sit down the whole time. So we're just gonna go ahead and spray this up. I water this down, so what I do is I fill it halfway with the Best Press and then halfway with water. So that's, I don't really need it like super starchy. I'm really just using it as more of a way to pre-shrink my fabric because I buy it at yards, half a yard at a time. So it's not really worth putting it through the wash or anything and fraying and everything or zigzagging it so it doesn't fray. It's just easier to do it this way. So the Best Press, by spraying it, it kind of shrinks the fabric a little bit so that it's pre-shrunk. You're not really washing these bags anyway, you're just spot treating them because of the interfacing and the fleece, the fusible fleece. It can't really go through the laundry. I guess if you were to like hand wash it and hang it out to dry, that might work as long as it doesn't have cork or leather or anything else in it. That should be okay, but I'm just kind of, it helps me. Some fabrics shrink more than others, so this really just helps me know that it's pre-shrunk, it smells good, and it's ready to use. If that makes any sense. We are ready to begin. I have got a lump in there. Try and get it as flat as possible, straight as possible before we get going here. And then I'm just gonna line this up with one of the lines and we're gonna cut off the extra here. And then we're going to start. So basically the only thing I'm getting out of this exterior fabric are the two top pieces and a pocket. So let's take a look at one of our other ones before we start cutting things out. So I've got the wintry one that I made for myself. And in this one I only did one set of pockets, mainly because I didn't pick out enough fabric to do this with. So I've got one set of pockets, but we did make them, I made two bigger pockets and two smaller pockets. So you could put pens and stuff in them. I also have a little stitch marker holder in here, which I like adding in. So we'll do that as well. So we will need zipper tabs, the stitch marker, loop, and the pocket. So I kind of like this. Normally what I do with these pockets is I use the lining fabric so it blends in, and then you have the pop of the exterior fabric. But I kind of like the exterior fabric being there. I mainly did that because I didn't have enough of the lining fabric to do the pocket with. So ideally you would have 3 fabrics for this. If you have 2 fabrics, then you want your lining fabric to be like 2 yards, really, because it's really, really big. So these pieces are going to be 19 by 11. just going to use my quilting mat, which if you have not seen that before, it's a 14 by 14 design board by Lori Holt. I love Lori Holt. And you can make these yourselves. This is basically just a poster, like a foam board with some batting spray glued on, and then some fabric spray glued on. You don't even need the fabric really. So I like using these to lay out all my pieces, and then I can transport my pieces over to the sewing machine, which is in a completely different room. So it's just really handy. And then we're gonna flip this out. First we're gonna iron it to keep the stitches, to lock the stitches in place. And then we are gonna flip it inside out, push the seams out, roll the seams, and then give it a nice good press. And then that's gonna be our interior pocket. And we're also going to press the exterior pieces, top stitch that, and then we will add our fusible fleece. And we're just going to top stitch this on the top because the bottom is going to get stitched in when we attach it to the pocket. To the interior. You could do 2 lines of stitching if you want. The only problem with making these huge bags is that now we have these huge pieces that I can't really lay flat anywhere. So my design boards are 14 by 14. These pieces are 19 by 19. So it just makes it a little difficult and challenging. I am going to have to move all of this though so that we can do the other pieces. We've got to cut out the fleece and sew on the pocket. So I'm going to need one of these. Just makes it kind of difficult, especially if you're doing multiples, because there's no real good way to keep all of this flat. So let's go ahead and do the pocket before we cut out the fleece. The nice thing is these are 19 by 19, so you can go whatever direction you want. So when we get to the stripes later, oh no, the stripes are on the exterior. Can't remember what I did. I think the stripes are on the lining. So those can go whichever direction you want because it's a big square. So what we are going to do, we should cut out our corners first. 3-inch. And then we are going to put our pocket, I believe, 1 inch up from the bottom, or actually more. Because this is such a huge bag, I don't necessarily want to have my pocket way down there. Let's see what past Heather came up with. 1 inch higher. Okay, I might do a little more than that. 1 inch doesn't quite seem like enough there. So 1 inch would be there. Let's go 2 inches higher. Give ourselves a little more room there. And then I'm just going to use pins to pin that down for right now. We are going to do 3/8 of a seam allowance on the ends. So that'll incorporate anything where you're a little off on your pocket seams. And then what we want to do is we want to make our marks for the pockets. So I had me going in 4 inches. You could totally do a, a little pocket just for a pen here, or hooks, or like whatever you want. I'm going to go with the 4 inches in from each side, although that's going to go right over my pin. I'm going to have to move my pin there. Okay, and then what that'll do is when we sew this at 3/8 of an inch, we're going to be lopping off a good portion of that. So we've got 2 smaller pockets on the side, 2 bigger pockets in the middle, and I got to draw my line for the middle. Okay, and it's a little hard to see my chalk on this fabric, so we're really going to have to concentrate when we sew this down. But that's what we're going to do. So we are going to go up, double stitch down on all 3 of these pockets, and then we're going to sew down and around so that I'm going the same direction on both sides. And we have to put our loop in, so let's do our loop first. And then I like to tuck it into one of these edges, so I'm just going to tuck it into this edge. After we sew this down, I'm going to tuck it right up against that seam and sew that down. Get rid of our extra little bits there. So let's go sew this down. Okay, let's turn this bad boy out. This thing is so big. There we go. So I'm going to sew the other one together, and then it's still Sunday because we got an extra hour of life this weekend. So I got plenty of time to put together the next bag, and then I'm going to make some hearty sausage and cannellini soup. So that will be nice and cozy. And then I can get back to doing some coloring book stuff. There we have it. Just got to push the lining back in there. Oh, nice and snug. Yay! Got our zipper. And there she is. So I'm going to put the tag on, and then once you put yarn in there, I mean, it stands up on its own anyway, but definitely once you put a project in there, it's going to stand up. Very, very exciting. Okay, so on to the next one. Okay, so here's the soup. It's Italian sausage, spinach, cannellini beans, and then the usual onion, carrots, celery, potatoes. It's very good, especially if you want to sprinkle some Parmesan cheese on top. And then I've just got some sourdough bread with some butter and salt. Yum, yum. Hey friends, so that's it for this week. Let's take a look at our 2 sweater bags. The first one is the adorable one with all the mice. This fabric was called Strawberry Thieves, and I love that. So we got that, and then we've got on the inside, we've got our beautiful polka dot fabric and our big slip pocket. And then we also have the other strawberry one. It just so happened that these were both strawberry bags. I did not plan that. And then I did the red stripe on the inside. Now I've definitely done these bags with only 2 fabrics before, but I find that the 3 fabrics are, I don't know, they're just more interesting to have it be one fabric on the outside and then have the lining be a different fabric, but you can totally have this fabric for both the lining and the exterior accents. you would just need to get more than a yard for that. So just plan accordingly. And since I made this one up myself, I will go ahead and put the measurements down in the description below. So if you're interested in making the same thing, you can have at it. I find that it's really handy even if I'm working on the project at home, because I have the 2 dogs. If you have cats or anybody else, kids, they don't want to get their fingers in things. It's just better to have it in a bag for me than in like a basket by the couch or anything. So I've got a blanket in one of my sweater bags and a sweater in one of my sweater bags. So I find they're very versatile. I wouldn't necessarily take them anywhere unless I was going on a long road trip or something. I did pack one of them in the luggage for our recent trip, but it does take up a lot of room, so you have to consider that. And we have a finished object. Yay! I finally finished this one. I went ahead and just did the 4 big blocks of color. So this is what this looks like. It's nice and big. So that's nice. We got that finished, and then I also got the lavender yarn started. So let's take a look at that. So we've got our lavender yarn, and it's working. Yay, it's working. So I found a different eyelet pattern that is a rectangle eyelet pattern, and I just did it like the pattern says. I was gonna alter it, and then I decided I liked it like this. So we are making the Heathered Eyelets Wrap by Fiberflux. So very pretty. I think it's gonna look really good because this yarn just ombre transitions very subtly. So I think it's gonna look very good. I'm already on the 2nd color, and I think it's going along great. So that project, I still have to sew the button on to my other shawl. Yeah, I kind of like the versatility of being able to take it on and off, but I technically don't. I could just put it over my head. So we'll see how that goes. It's just a matter of getting out the needle and thread and sewing it down. But other than that, I am all ready for the craft fair. We got 1 more week to go before the craft fair. So next week we are going to be putting price tags on everything. I will talk a little bit about how I price my products and how difficult that can be for handmade sellers. And I think I'm going to share also with you the way that I track all my products in Excel and research prices and stuff like that. So we'll just talk about all that soul searching stuff next week. And then I think my sister and I are going to the yarn store for like a sit and knit kind of thing. I will take you along with that as well. So I hope you have a wonderful week ahead and hope to see you back here next week. Love you, friends. Bye.